Well, first of all, guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. This is Trevor from Scooter Antics. We're out here at a tennis court that I used to come to all the time as a kid. So it's just, I went to the skate park earlier and it was super windy and super gross out. So I just decided to come to here, which is more covered, surrounded by hills a little bit. So it's a little bit less windy here. Before I get into the video, I just want to touch on the whole coronavirus thing and what I'm going to be doing. University of Wyoming did transfer all their classes to online, so I will probably be home now for the majority of the next month or so. Probably. We may end up taking a scooter trip or something. I can't promise anything, but that's kind of where that stands. So I'm hoping now that I'm going to be at home and able to have a little bit more free time since all my classes are online, that I'll be able to produce more videos. I'm going to try to produce a video every day to every other day for you guys, and we'll see how that goes depending on weather and stuff. I have this camera set up. This is actually my mom's camera. It's a Canon 90D, so beautiful camera. I'm glad I get to work with it. It works with this mic that I got for my GoPro, so that's cool. But with the whole coronavirus thing, we haven't really seen it much here in Rapid. There have been 10 cases in South Dakota, so as of right now, we haven't really seen the effects of it yet. Everything is getting shut down, schools are getting canceled, but that's kind of just across the nation, so we'll see how that goes in the coming months. But since everyone's going to be home and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to try to produce more content for you, and I enjoy producing it for myself, so hopefully you guys enjoy what I make. Today we're going to be kind of doing a video here about the different variations. I want to say 3, but I'm sure there's more. The different variations of tail whips that you should learn after you've learned tail whips, because tail whips is kind of the first thing that you learn when you start scootering. So I just want to give you guys some variations that you can learn, some things that you can work on to get more comfortable with them, so that when you guys are at home in your garage riding, you have some stuff to work on flat, because I know you guys don't have much to ride. I know I don't, so it kind of works out for all of us. I'm assuming that since you guys are watching this video, you already know how to tail whip pretty well. So I guess I'll just show that now, just to start off. So yeah, tail whips are the first part. You need to be decently okay with throwing tail whips and catching them. Not necessarily catching them, but just be comfortable throwing tail whips all the time. And then the first thing that I think is important to learn after learning just tail whips is to learn cab whips, because I think they're the easiest after you've learned just tail whips, or at least they were for me. They were the first thing I learned after it. So to do cab whips, you're just going to jump your 180 and ride fakie, and then turn so that you're almost 90 degrees from turning around, and then just jump, throw it a little bit, and you'll get all the way around. And then you just keep working it a little bit more and more, and eventually you'll be able to do the full 180 cab whip. So yeah, I'll go ahead and show you guys what that looks like. Cab whips are a good thing to learn next. I don't know, I really enjoy them. I do them a lot out of things, so they're just a good trick to get good at. That's if, of course, you spin backside. I naturally spin front side, so I'm sure I learned downside whips first. But if you are like me and you naturally spin front side instead of backside, I'll show you guys how to do cab downside whips too, because that's right there in that same ballpark. Those are the 2 ways of spinning it that you should learn. That'll help you a lot with just being able to start rotating your whips, your tail whips. But then after you've mastered those 2, you can switch to trying to do them straight into 180, which is a little bit harder to land backwards than it is to go from backwards to forwards. So I'll show you guys both 180 whips and 180 downside whips, depending on which way you spin. I'll do 180 whip first. So you're just gonna, to do it, you're just gonna pop and start your rotation and try to keep your scooter as close to you as possible. What I think about doing is catching it like 90. So catching it when you're like sideways and then pulling that rest of the 180 around. It helps me a lot. You don't have to catch it, but it looks a lot better if you do. So that's one of the most important things with tail whips just in general is catching them. If you can learn how to catch them consistently and do it well, it's gonna make your riding look so much better in general. So that's what I recommend, is just really, really work on catching your tail whips. And it's one of those things, I can't really like tell you something that'll help you that much, besides like just put that back foot out and wait for it to come to you and then pull it up when it gets under you. But it's just a lot of repetition, lots of practice. So you just have to go to the skate park and try to throw a single whip as fast as you can and just try to catch it. That's really all you can do. But let's do that 180 whip. Okay, I'll do downside whip for you guys. This one's a little bit easier. So yeah, there's 180 whips and cab whips. Those are both really nice tricks. You find yourself doing them quite a lot. They're really fun to do down stair sets, out of the bowl. I don't know, I like both of them. I do them a lot. Usually when I'm doing cab whips, there are downside ones, but that's just how I am. Now guys, I'm gonna get into some of the more intermediate tricks. These, you should probably learn more fly out and stuff like that. I'm gonna be doing them flat, but they're a little bit harder. They're more once you've gotten comfortable with your tail whips, maybe even gotten your tail whip catches down, and just once you've gotten those 180 whips and 180 downside whips just solid. So I'm gonna start just really easy with just a straight double whip. These are most people's, right when they learn whips, this is straight what they go for, is just straight into double whips, which I think it's not a bad idea. I probably did the same thing. I think it's really important to not rush learning new stuff, even though you want to, because your style will look so much better. Like, I would prefer someone do a really, really nice looking tail whip than say like a triple whip if it looks sketchy. It's more impressive to make things look good than to be able to do more intense stuff. Even if you're doing crazy stuff, if it doesn't look good, it's just, no one's really gonna be that impressed with it. So let's go to double whips. I'll show you guys one of these real quick. All you really gotta do, it's the same thing as a whip, just jump and throw it a little bit harder, and really, it's so much in the hands. Tail whips, you can get away with it in the feet a little bit more, but for double whips, it's all in the hands. So you wanna get those good. That's one of those tricks that I find myself doing quite a lot. I've kind of substitute double whips for single whips a lot now, because how I ride, I like to do more whips just in general. So I tend to find myself doing doubles or triples more than just single whips, even though single whips might just look better. So the next trick that I find myself doing a lot, that I think it's important to learn, especially if you spin front side, I'm gonna do 3 downside whip now. This trick, it's really not that hard once you learn downside whips, depending on which way you spin. For me, 3 downside whips came pretty easily just because I spin front side normally. But for you, it might be 3 whips. Like Ty does 3 whips so good flat, like just absolutely beautiful flat. And I don't understand him. I'm gonna do a 3 whip here in a second after I do 3 downside whip, and you'll see how god awful I do them. They're just not good. So let's do 3 downside quick. Three downsides whips are fun. Along with that, I think decades are a good learn. For me, they're easy front side since it's a whip, but most people do them backside, which means it's heel, which makes it a little bit harder. I can't do it that way very well, but now I'll show you guys 3 whips. Try 2. All right guys, there you go. Those are some things for you to work on while you're stuck at home. Condolences if you get 3 whips. I can't do them very well, as you can see, but that's what I have to work on. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. And yeah, stay safe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully I'll have one coming out either tomorrow or the next day. So thank you guys.